When pruning goes wrong, this is what you end up with. This was an azalea bed. I think about 60 years ago there were about 6 or 7 azaleas around a tree that was planted in the middle, and over time they just spread. So far we've dug out about 12 azaleas, but on top of that we have found so many just nasty weeds. I wondered why my azaleas weren't growing properly, why they barely flowered. And this is what I've discovered. Once I started trimming away the outside azaleas and got into the center of this patch, I found about 50 or more little trees. This is an oak tree of some variety. And you can see it's been growing for many years. It was probably just a little seed that was planted by a squirrel, but it was never weeded out. And over time, it buried itself underneath this azalea. And then in between were these nasty roots. And from this grows these shoots that just spiral up and around, and you do not want to tangle with them. They're full of really sharp thorns. So this is just like life. You know, if we don't deal with those little problems, over time it just gets worse and worse, and this is such a great example. So you can see this entire area here, which should have been filled with good soil for this azalea, was completely filled with roots and other plants, just using up all the nutrients for this little azalea bush. And that explains why we've had hardly any flowers. On this side you can see there are more oaks. I wouldn't be surprised if I find it excuse me, another big oak tree buried on that side. And this looks like perhaps a walnut tree. So I've been working on this area for about 2 months now. It's taken so long. And instead of just a short amount of pruning every year, this is what we ended up with. So folks, it pays to prune. It pays to do things the right way. Even if it's just light pruning, make sure to pull out those little weeds, pull out all the nut trees that the squirrels plant, and that way you get to enjoy flowers, way more flowers and much healthier plants. Thanks so much for watching.